Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. It is afternoon. Kind of wait for people to get here. There might be long moments of silence, but you're not supposed to do when you do that. What, Sawyer? You just came in here to bug me? I've already had enough today. Yeah. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. Yeah, I saw your comments. Andy Griffith tells me when there's new comments on my afternoon. Heather, good to see you. I'm gonna wait a minute before I really get started. Give people a chance to join. That way I don't repeat myself as much. Did I take my meds? I did. Okay. I did take my meds. Good to know. Good to know. Okay, I gotta keep all that. Gotta keep that. Okay. It's cleared out my tabs. I don't like to have too many tabs. Means that there's too much bullshit. Means that there's too much bullshit. Tomorrow's supposed to kind of be my day off, but it's not going to be. I'm going to go run sound for a funeral for Pastor Marcia. Haven't done it before. I hope I do it correctly. Somebody's funeral and a life. In my mind, I'm gonna have to be perfect. And thankfully, it's a paying gig. That's actually what this is pretty much all about. It's all about money, and there ain't enough. Welcome to Daily Trudge, Dion, whatever. I know I seem lackadaisical, but I need to, or I'm gonna get very, very angry. If you're here, please say hello. Whether you're watching live or the rewatch, go do something else, Sawyer. Okay? Good job. There you go. Alright. I just don't feel like being fucking stared at by a cat at the moment. Ba-ding. You are now free to move about the country. I'll be at the church. I just need to read this real quick. Alright. Okay. Helping out. Get out! I want to beat a cat on camera, but I will. I don't beat my cats. It's things that come out of my mouth. It's going to be kind of hard to explain, so you need to be patient with me. This might be a dank-ass live, depending on what you consider dank to be. To me, dank means very good weed. So, depends on your definition of dank. Yeah, I won't be doing any bong rips here. But thank you for the humor. I do kind of need it. Why do I do what I do? Number one, because I'm good at it. I've spent a big portion of my life people watching, being in therapy. I've been through a lot in this life. Yeah, and I was just talking to another friend about this, and she's like, maybe it's an emerging. I'm like, I'm tired of emerging. It's time for action, man. You know, try and follow God's will, but when I don't know what God's will is for me, then it's kind of tough. You know, there's a lot of things that there's a lot of things that I would like to do, but that I don't know that I'm capable of because of how I am. I've been, for the last, 6 months, I've been working on trying to get Aurora Mental Health or Adams County to pay me for my services. And, they don't really want change, so they don't see the need for my services, even though, and this is not a brag, it is not a brag, I swear to you, it's not. I'm really good at what I fucking do. And that's helping other people. And I have to go through so much red tape just to do it. I spend more time on red tape than I do on helping other people. And I don't know that I want to do that anymore. Why else do I do it? Because I love it. It keeps me sober. It keeps this criminal mind from doing all the other bullshit that it really wants to do. There's a lot of people out there that are hurting, that are quiet, and there are things that get to me. Like, it's June 1st, and it's already started. And if you know me well enough, I don't have anything against LGBTQ trans. No, I don't. But it's Men's Mental Health Month, not Pride Month. And it's been that way since 1994, but we don't focus on men's mental health. I mean, fuck men. See, even though I have white privilege, that white privilege comes with other things, like government assistance. See, I don't get government assistance because, I mean, I do, but I mean, I have to be so fucking crazy. Now I'm diagnosed with another mental illness. I don't like that. Now I'm at 5 now. It's like I'm just, as I get older, I rack up more mental illnesses. And, is there a day when I'm going to be well? I don't know. I am. I would probably consider myself pretty stable at this point, but it's a maintenance. Why do I like helping other people? I don't know the exact reason. I really don't. Because it makes me feel useful. Probably be one. Um, I like watching other people reclaim their lives, knowing that maybe I had a little part to do with it. I know it wasn't me. Doesn't need to be me. I don't need the clout. But there are so many people that didn't believe in me. I want to do something big so I can throw it in their fucking face. That's part of it. If there's one thing you'll get from me, it's the truth. Because anything else isn't going to do me any good. So I don't quite see that ever happening. God doesn't work that way. Not that I'm aware of. So my wife and I, we're giving people. I mean, and at the moment, because of our giving, we're suffering for it. I don't like being taken advantage of. It bugs the fuck out of me. I understand that, this is a situation where it's paid, and my wife hasn't been paid in 3 months, if not longer. She's taking care of her dad. I'm going to get a little personal here. If it comes back around to bite me in the butt, well, I'm going to chew your fucking ass for it. So, but it won't. Right. So she's been taking care of her, what I would actually call her biological father, because this man has done nothing for her ever. Right. Got a brother and sister involved, lives with the brother, but see, they go to work and they got their money, but her job, and the reason that she hasn't got paid is because he doesn't have the money, and the ex-wife is stopping the sale of the house. We had to go through court. We had to go through this. We had to do this. I mean, we've had to wait months. And yesterday we were told we got to wait another 30 days. We don't have another 30 days. Then I find out today that our EBT was cut. Now I don't have any food either. If I don't pay my child support soon, I'm going to lose my driver's license again. Everything that I've been working for is just disappearing. But yet I see all these other people fucking around with the system, doing whatever the fuck they want to without a care in the world, abusing other people, making money hand over fist. And I'll tell you what, it drives me crazy. I too could put together 3 easy steps in a master class. Fuck, I can do that in a day. But it's not going to work for me the way that it works for other people. I won't be capable of doing that. I don't want to be mixed in with everybody else. I'm tired of recovery being big business. I'm tired of it being competition, of everything being lumped together. It's in a very, very precarious and dangerous situation. And I'm trying to do everything that I can with what I know. Probably figured out by now that, AA is the way that I prefer, not the only way. See, I always have to qualify that shit. That annoys me too. Because honestly, the way I see it, AA is pretty much the way. But I may not be able to do it for much longer. See, the thing is even this Restream, the website, YouTube Premium, Podbean, it all costs money. It all costs money. So do I make the decision? And if let's say I can't pay my premium, there goes 7 years of work. Just gone because a payment couldn't be made. The website gets shut down and nobody can get to the big book thumping or the 12 by 12 series or hear other stories while they're driving around. You know, I'm tired of helping other people and watching them continue to be selfish, while I'm watching the brother and sister go to the fucking movies or go on vacation, but I don't have $15 to take my grandkids to McDonald's. It just isn't right, and it tears me up. It pisses me off. And I'm tired of fucking helping people. And when it comes to AA and stuff, sure, there's an unconditional love, but when other things like money are involved, there's a reasonable expectation in my book. And there are reasonable expectations. You work 40 hours, you should get paid. In any other situation, I could take these people to court and sue them for a lot more money than the 3 months of non-payment. Do they not? They don't. People not even understanding that I'm helping them out, that I'm sacrificing one thing to bring you another is hard to do. But unfortunately, without money, I can't do it. There's, between it's hard to describe when you don't have all the information. It's caused more problems than just not being able to pay things. We've been having to use a credit card. Well, that interest builds up. You know, my account is NSF twice. That's another $60 down the drain. And now I'm just being nickeled and dimed together. And I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do. I don't know that within 30 days this is going to be here anymore. And no, I ain't asking for money. I don't want your money. Not in this situation. No fucking way. I just don't want people to think I'm coming on here and then I'm gonna, I'll put a link for GoFundMe on there or something. I don't work that way. It's got to be done the right way. And I don't want to owe this person 50 and that person 200 and that it's all going to get paid in 30 days or probably a little bit more, but you know, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but it's got to be something that makes money, you know. I know that I'm helping people. That's great, but I can't pour from an empty cup. I can't do it all, but it seems like I do. Not all of it. When it comes to the grassroots meeting, I'm not doing it all. A lot of people, and thank you everybody in the group for stepping up. It was a big relief because if people didn't step up to chair, I was ending the meeting. I was going to step down because I'm not going to sit there and tell you the thank yous. Dion, thank you for doing everything. That doesn't help me. And a lot of people have stepped up, so I appreciate that. I just couldn't put all that time into it, and I put a lot of fucking time into it. I put a lot of effort into this stuff, and to think that just because one little thing happened that it goes away is kind of fucked up. You know, you'd think after 7 years that number would be bigger than two. I'm not putting anybody down. I appreciate everybody being here, but when I don't see the fruits of my labor, that I just don't feel motivated to do it. It's been hard to find a place. I also thought of, well, I'll go out there and find the places that are doing it right and try and support them. I haven't found one. I haven't found one. And that reduces my enthusiasm just a little bit more. You know, there's other factors to this, and it's my mental illness. I It is hard for me to go to work somewhere and have somebody tell me what to do. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I do know why. It's shit from the past. It is in direct proportion to me being put away at 14. It has exactly to do with that, right? Because see, it was out of my control. I got put in a place that was even more unsafe than the house that I was living in. So when I am required to do something, I do not feel safe. And then my anxiety and my PTSD come out. It's been hard for me to focus on one thing. I don't know if I don't know if people have noticed the change in me the last few days. I had to start taking another med, you know, because I need to get to a point where, I'm able to focus on things instead of my mind wandering. Happens all the time in meetings. That's why if you go to a meeting with me, you usually see me playing with this. I do it so I can focus on what you're saying. Otherwise, my mind starts going in a million different directions. So, the last day and a half, at least my mind hasn't been racing compulsively, and that's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. You know, I'm not doing this for pity either, and I'm not threatening to shut it down or anything like that, but I do want people to be aware that it takes a lot to do any of this. And it's more than money. I sacrifice almost everything in my life to do what it is that I do. I don't get vacations. I don't get new clothes. I don't get new shoes. That stuff is not in my life. There's a reason why I drive the car I drive, because it was cheaper and because it was a stick and it was a Honda. I have great luck with Hondas. Right. And, and I know that everybody understands that. It isn't something that isn't unknown, you know. And I get a lot of kudos for it. I do, and I appreciate it, but I don't pay the bills. And bills don't get paid off karma. Bills don't get paid in good deeds. Right. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. I have a few ideas. If this med keeps helping me continue to have a little bit more energy, then there's more. There's more that I could get done. Amber says I need new Converse. Yeah, they're holy. Yeah, those are your church shoes, right? Those are your Sunday shoes. Yeah. And I'm not saying we don't have food in the. Actually, we have food in the house, but it's all breakfast stuff. We don't have any dinners or anything. And we got ramen. It's not like I'm gonna starve. I'm not. But it's hard when everything you've been working for, doing God's will, you sacrifice everything, and the outcome is more is taken. And I can't continue to rely on other things in order for this stuff to be paid anymore. Aside from the fact that the website's not doing anything. It's nice and pretty, but I haven't done any work on it forever. And yeah. They're your dailies. Yeah, it's hard to give up Converse, man. I'm a big Converse guy too. I wish I was like other people where I could, put aside the bullshit and go somewhere that has a lack of morals and still do a great job. But I'm not capable of doing that. I will tear through that like a lion's after a gazelle, man. I will find the weakest link and I can't help it. I wish I could. I wish I wasn't a horrible employee, but I am. See, I need to be doing what I need to be doing. I don't know what, and I don't know why. If I knew why, I could probably change it. But I don't think anybody's going to be able to come along and change my DNA so I fit in with the rest of the world. Aside, I don't want to be like the rest of the world. I don't. Too much division, too much warring. I want peace. I want love. What I don't want to do is go to work at Detox and have another argument on whether or not the clients get Netflix when we have much better things to do with our time. Trying to bring in, back in person 12-step calls. And I have an idea for that, by the way. I do. There's no reason we can't start an online one. But I can't even get central office to answer a few simple questions. They just act like I'm not worth their time. And the thing I am really getting tired of is trying to work in a world of professionals who are still very passive aggressive people, where they just blow you off instead of, you know, on the 1st, it was a month ago today that I went down to East Metro Detox, and they were like, "Oh, this was a great talk." And the person that made the decision was supposed to be there, but she was unable to be there due to a surgery. They didn't tell me that, but I knew. Um, well, after 3 weeks, I reached out, and they're like, "Oh, we still need to talk to Kathy." I'm like, "In 3 weeks, you know." And then a full month goes by, and I had to initiate that conversation again. And I did not write a very nice email. No, you know, um, pain is the touchstone of all change. And the problem was, is it wasn't hurting them. So I had to make it hurt a little bit. Just get an answer. Right. She wrote me back on Thursday. Hey, I am out of the loop on this one. What does that mean? It means they never sat down and talked to her, which means they never had any intention of hiring me in order to make Detox a better place. They are okay with being dead last. And I'm not okay with it. A lot of people don't even know. AA in Colorado has a big responsibility right now. I'm telling you, it's failing. We're comfortable, and that's a problem. Yeah. When the central office is resting on their laurels, because that's what they're doing. Right? Bring it to an AA meeting. Well, that's an outside issue. The fuck it is. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics. It also means advocating. But I don't see anybody out here advocating. You know, not that I don't have supporters, definitely I do. But there ain't nobody standing beside me when I go and do all this. There aren't people following me around. If I asked y'all to come pick it, I wouldn't see anybody. You got shit to do. And most of you don't even live in the state. So it'll be kind of hard to do, right? What I'm thinking is, instead of grassroots giving their money to central office, who is doing nothing with it except putting it in their own fucking pocket so they can work 4 days a week. No. Instead, we take that money, create a new Zoom room, and get people from all over the country to join each night. And then these detoxes and treatment centers, professionals can just send you to a Zoom link. And if you join, we will be there to 12 step you. Yeah, it's that simple. And part of the problem is you go out there and it is very unsimple. It is no longer simple. Every time I turn around, I'm seeing something wrong, and it sucks. This industry was not like this in the 90s. In the 90s, when I worked Detox, I loved it. I loved waking up in the morning and going to work. When I went to work at Detox, a year and a half ago, 2 years now, I hated it. I dreaded going to work. But see, when I'm free to go to work and do what I'm best at, there ain't gonna be no problems. I will want to be there. I will want to be there. Lori says, I hate Zoom meetings. They're ineffective. If I could add to that, Lori, they're ineffective for you. I know that a lot of people in Zoom meetings where the Zoom meetings have saved their life, but it is not for everyone. I would, however, agree that I don't think a Zoom meeting will ever be able to replace an in-person meeting. Nope. There's something about being around 20, 30 people in the same room with the same intention that causes movement, causes action. And Zoom doesn't really have that effect. It doesn't have the same effect. So I do hear what you're saying, Lori. So whatever I do next is going to have to be mine. I'm hoping the Adderall works. If the Adderall works the way that I think it's going to work, then I'm going to be able to get more done. Absolutely, Lori. She says I agree with the in-person state. Yeah, I would agree with that. Absolutely. See, and that's what's key. I've known Lori now for what? At least 5 years, Lori. It's been at least 5 years since I've known you. We've had Lori and I have had a shit ton of debates. We've had them here, we've had them on the phone, okay? But we always agree on certain things, and that's what keeps the friendship going, right? If I had a client and I sent them to Lori, I wouldn't lose a wink of sleep. No, I wouldn't, because I know that they were in good hands. But of course, since 2020, yeah, so about 5 years now. Amber, you and I have known each other over 2 years now, right? This is my thought. Because see, pretty soon here, Shannon's not going to be doing that job. We're putting her dad in assisted living. It's that time. And what are we going to do after that? So, I'm thinking, here let's talk about Zoom a little bit. So, the cool thing about Zoom is if you're in a hurry, or maybe you can't leave the house, maybe you got kids, or you're at work but you need a meeting right now, then Zoom is very convenient. A lot of times people with other mental illnesses like social anxiety, PTSD, that's what they're good for, because they're very non-invasive. Okay. But I would recommend trying some in-person meetings. See, Amber tried. Didn't quite work for her, right? Yeah. Lori, November 2020. Well, God, that makes me feel special, Lori, that you know exactly when. That's awesome. Thank you. It makes me feel good, because I love you. Lori's one of those people in the industry that I respect. Okay. I need 10 more of those, though. And so in 5 years, I have found what, 3 people? That's the hard part. Let's read some of these here real quick, because a lot of people said. So Heather says, "Amen. I'm one of those people saved by Zoom. Got me out of my isolation initially, to then attend an in-person." Yeah, see, sometimes it's a good starting point, right? And it helps get there. Michelle says, yes, Zoom meetings changed and yes, I have changed my life. And yes, I'd still like to go on in person. As soon as the magic 225 for 2 tires appear, I'll do that. Yeah. I wouldn't have found a lot of my, because I talk about a lot of stuff about Colorado, but most people that listen to me, well, actually, most people that listen to these are in Colorado, but a lot of people that you go to the grassroots, it's about 70% Coloradans, and that's because we're listed on DACA, right? So see, I got to keep things simple. So what are we gonna do? Because that job's gonna end, and my wife doesn't want to be a caretaker anymore, and I don't blame her. We do a lot of ended days and stuff, and death just, I mean, two people died upstairs, and it takes a toll on a person. She doesn't need that anymore. Well, I'm really good at working with the alcoholics. You know what my wife's good at? Working with the families of alcoholics. So I'm thinking about just opening a very, very straightforward, very simple 12 step based sober living. It's not going to be tied to anything else. We're not going to take government money. We're not going to do any of that. Right? It's getting it going, and maybe that's where a lot of people could be helpful. See, I would rather my friends help me get to a place where I'm making my own money than lend me money. Yeah. It's the whole teach a man to fish or give him you know, the saying goes you can give a man a fish they can eat for a day, or you can teach a man to fish and they can eat for the rest of their lives. But a lot of us here work this way. We give a man a fish while teaching them how to fish. Why not that? Why can't we do that? Are we at a fish? If I'm a great fisherman and I can teach other people how to fish, well, then I probably got extra fish. Right? So she can come hang out with you all day. I'm sure that's what she would want to do, Emily. She can be your personal counselor. Actually, my Shannon would be like the best perfect personal assistant. She would. She's good at that shit. All right. But to keep things nice and simple, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't, what I don't want to do is be lumped in with everybody. I don't even want to say, we opened this because we saw a need. I don't even want to get into that. Right. Uh, Scott and Isaac are there. They're the family of the alcoholic. And you're like, maybe to get them off my back. Right. Um, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. At the same time, can I get it done? And it'll be different. It's not going to be like your regular sober living. In fact, I would rather call it a halfway house or a recovery home rather than a sober living. We will not be CAR certified because I doubt CAR will even certify us, because I continue to call them out about their Medicaid fraud, and they're just not going to do it because. So what? So what? See, it isn't needed. I just need to let a few places know, a couple detoxes know, and that's about it. And then what it comes down to is, what does the community want? So this would be my preference, that this is how it'll work. You go to see somebody, you do a 12 step call, maybe they're in the hospital, maybe they're at detox, and you're talking to them and they're like, I have nowhere to go. My wife will not let me come back. And they have a job. Well, I know of a place that might work for you in their 12 step base, and we will teach the 12 steps there. We will do what is called cognitive behavioral therapy, but it's got to be a little bit. It's got Okay. Before I move on, pen to paper. I'll show you something. All right. I ain't done. Okay. I do pen to paper. I'm still not done. All right. These are just the ones that sit here. All right. Not only that, but here, I'll show you another thing. And then there's more of them down here. All right. So, and yes, I appreciate the suggestion, but I do have all of this written down. But now watch this. All right. Give me a second here. I don't know if it'll actually just let me show my window. There we go. See that? This is all my stuff. I already have it all together, including the resident handbook, Brainstar, everything that we need here. It's all done, including the description of what we do. See? So you're my friend, so I just wanted to show to you that I was doing that. So now the nice thing is this is I'm able to focus a little bit more. So that helps me a lot, you know. Um, and I've been going through this for years, figuring out what does Dion want to be when he grows. And I'll tell you exactly what I want to be. I just want to be the old man behind the desk that's helping people. I do. It's all I want to be. I want to give away everything. Too many. Oh, now it's too much, Michelle. See, you're right. This is my ADHD in action. You're not wrong. I do too much. Okay, well, maybe we do this and we can do that, maybe. But I don't feel so scatterbrained anymore. And it's because of the Adderall. I had some misconceptions about the Adderall, but the person that helped me with this, it's a psychiatrist. She's the one that helped me get off 120 milligrams of duloxetine. She was so happy to hear I was all the way off of it. She's like, that wasn't going to work for you, right? Like, have you noticed that my lives in the last couple of days, I've stayed on topic. I haven't even done a lot of the screwing around that I usually do. That was my ADHD, man. You know, um, but I think more than anything, I want to make a difference in the world before I leave. And I know I've already made a difference, but I'm not satisfied. I, I'm not satisfied. And I know I don't belong in the industry that's out there in Colorado right now. There's a lot of division. There's a lot of fighting going on right now. A lot of fighting. And it seems like every day now I've been seeing we stopped fighting. So I get really confused on what God's trying to tell me, because I see, okay, we have to stop fighting everything and everyone, but it seems like almost every day this week somebody has sent me something about the bullshit going on that needs to be reported. So which is which? Because one of these things is the devil, but I don't know which one. Do I stop fighting everything? Because me advocating is kind of fighting. I mean, let's call a spade here, right? See, I don't know. I don't know. I tend to think that it's to stop fighting, right? And I would love to hear other people's opinion on that, but I just noticed that I've been going for almost 45 minutes. I should probably wrap this up. Um, I don't want to consume your whole day with my problems. Although at the same time, maybe that is what you want to do. Oh, I don't know why I get away with talking for 45 minutes when really you can only hold somebody's attention for 10 to 12 minutes. I'm not sure why that happens. But I'll tell you, it's just another thing that makes me feel separated from the rest of my people. Not being a good employee or being this, having you know, 5 mental illnesses. I think they're all kind of one, though, in a sense. Honestly, I think it's just all alcoholism. It's just I ended up with some other stuff because of it. Right. So, but it's going to be tough for me to do that because my lack of trust for the professionals in the recovery community. I have a total, there is no trust. And I feel like if I don't do it this way, then I'm going to get duped, and then we're just going to hurt people. And that is, everybody is guilty until proven innocent that works in the field right now. And I want that to change. It wasn't like that in the 90s. Competition was not a word in the recovery field. No, we all got paid a decent wage. We weren't rich, not by a long shot. You know, we had Baldwin tires. Our cars weren't the best, but we were fucking happy and we were doing really good. Yeah. I know that we'll never get the good old days back. I know that's not going to happen. But I remember, and NA too. There was a point that, there was a point when even in NA and all the 12-step groups, it was standing room only, man. It was strong. It was strong. I miss those days. I really do. The thing is we can have them back. Not particularly like that. Amber says, I specifically look for podcasters that go long and interact with it. Yeah, that's where I'm. See, now I say, there's 2-3 people. You think it'd be more after 7 years, but if that was like 20 people, it'd be too much for me. So see, what is it that I really want? Do I want 20 people here? Maybe. I don't know. Then I'd need a producer. So that kind of goes through the comments. And my horror podcast guy, Let's Read, goes live on Wednesdays and Sundays. See, that's another thing that I could probably do. Is I've got this voice. I'd stay home and read stuff out loud for people and charge for it. I don't know. I already kind of do that anyway with the big book and stuff. But thing is, I can do a lot of varied voices and stuff too. So, see, now I'm back to where I don't know what I want to do. It's a conundrum. All right. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the opinions. But, mostly thank you for listening. So, I'll be back tomorrow. Probably going to go to the 3 p.m. meeting. Maybe. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And have a day.